Welcome back to the workshop, everybody. So glad you could be with me here today. Walter here at the workbench. So, I thought I'd spend a little time and do some light reading. Light reading? There's no book there. Well, no. I'm talking about reading the grain. Reading the grain. I was looking for a piece of really clear hard maple that has no figure, none at all, just very plain. So when you get a piece of wood from the sawmill, it's rough, you can see some of the leafy cathedrals, you can see some of that. But you really can't tell what you have until you plane it. So the first face I planed was this one here. Now, isn't that gorgeous? That is the quartered face. And those are the rays. Let's see, what can you see here? These are the ray flecks, the medullary rays. And that's what gives us this quartered figure. But there's also some stripes coming across here, you can see. I don't know if you can see them, but there's stripes coming across. Almost looks like curly maple, but this is not curly maple. It came with a batch of curly maple, but it's not. What we're seeing is the result of some sort of quilted or quasi bird's eye. See, they're all over the place. They're almost bird's eyes, but they're not. All right? They're behaving like little branches. So like right here, we've got this one here. There's the center of it right there. And you can see, I don't know if you can see, but right here there's a spike almost. This is the outside of the tree, this is the inside of the tree. So they started somewhere down here and they slowly grew and got wider, and then we ended up with this whorl here. Here's another one, here's another one, there's one up here. So it's very pretty wood. It's not what I was looking for. And down here, I'm thinking this might have been, well, I can't tell if this was the top or the bottom of the tree because it's a little more curly here. It might be compression wood, it might be curl. I'd have to do some more investigation, but I think it could have been the other way around too. This could have been the bottom of the tree, and this could have been up towards a branch where you're getting compression wood. That's why it's fun to get the log and saw it up yourself. So do a little reading of your wood before you commit to using it in a project. You want the grain pattern that you need, okay? Now, another topic for today, vices. I see a lot of people using vices to hold their work to plane. And that's fine, as long as the amount that extends beyond the vise will not flex at all when you put pressure on it. Not at all. Also, when you tighten the vise, if the board is really wide, it can bow or cup. You can get spring to it. So, the only reason I use a vise on something like this is because it wouldn't lay flat on the bench. I could have made it work, but it was short enough and stout enough that I could plane it without any flex. And I just put a fresh hone on this, so we're taking very fine finishing cuts right now. I did all the hard work already. So I would just like to caution you that if you're doing any sort of planing in a vise, make sure that the piece, the workpiece, is heavy enough to resist flexing. that'll help keep it nice and flat and nice and straight. Now, what I'll do after this, because I've squared these two sides, if I'm going to use this piece of wood, I now can plane up on the bench. It's not going to wobble. I still have a little bit, there's just a tiny bit there. That side's flat. No wobble whatsoever. This side has something where? On these two corners. So I can come back in here. I can take off just over there on that corner. And just take off here on this corner. Connect them. And that'll reduce that wobble. And keep going at it until it's all gone. There we go. So there you go. That's a couple of tips for you today. If you found something helpful, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe. Read your wood and don't use your vise for planing if you have a lot of overhang. A little bit, okay. And also, use your vise for planing if the board is narrow, not real wide. Head out to your shop. Go make some shavings. Walter out.